Welcome back, guys. We are going to be working on the boat once again today, and this is going to be the part of the project where things kind of start almost looking kind of finished out at this point. So I've got quite a few things to tackle today. First of all, we got this light right here. Went over to Walmart, picked one up. Got one of these bad boys. This is a Bilge pump, and then we also got a Bilge pump hose. But we're also going to be getting everything wired up to hook into the battery box. Little update here on the battery box. My new battery came in. It went pretty cheap on the battery. This one was, I think, like 85 bucks. So hopefully it doesn't kick me in the pants later on, but that's what it looks like. I'll leave a link to it in the description, but it's an 18 amp hour battery. So it's gonna give quite a bit more life and run juice to everything I need to run juice to. So in the past videos, if you guys haven't been keeping up, make sure to go back, watch all those. But we've got the HydroTurf installed. We installed the LED light strip around the inside. And of course, we cannot forget the old 12-inch light bar on the front. So everything needs to get wired up to the batteries. It's the evening, it's like 100 degrees outside, and hopefully I can get everything done. I'm kind of getting to the point where I feel like I've almost bitten off more than I can chew with this project, especially knowing what's coming in the future. So I'm trying my best to get along quick enough to where I'm not rushed come August thinking I have to get it done before September. I'm hopefully by August, I'm gonna have everything with this project wrapped up. And if you guys are interested in helping me with this project, helping support me, Max 5 hats are in stock on the website, so click the link down below. And if you guys have any suggestions on things to add to the boat, make sure to leave that down in the comments. The way that this light installs is actually really simple. You use 2 screws, and I'm gonna need to drill a hole to get these little wires through the bottom. One issue with this boat is I can't like put it all the way up here because there's foam in the front and the back, and it starts right about here. So I've only got, you know, maybe 8 to 10 inches of space here. So I think somewhere right along in here should work pretty well for the nav lights. That curve, about 5 1/4. It could probably move just a hair that way. Okay, so if you guys aren't keeping up on the project, the reason I'm putting nav lights on it is because I am gonna actually be putting a mud motor on this, and I have used like the clip-on lights before, but I don't think this is gonna be that great of an option for what we got going on here. I still need to figure out something for the stern light, so we will cover that in a future video, but let's get this one installed real quick. There we go. I had to kind of ream it out a little bit. You guys can see here, between the wires, there's this little piece. Maybe you guys can see how it comes down in a V formation? That's the problem with the drill bit. So 1/2-inch drill bit was not quite big enough for what I needed. So had to kind of ream it out a little bit. But now all we have to do is put the gasket on here and throw some screws in. Boom. There was a screw in there. Using the world's smallest screwdriver. Hopefully my fingers are strong enough. So now we get to move on to the next thing, which is the bilge pump. I don't want to screw this into the boat because there's really no good options to where I'm screwing it in to where it's gonna suck up water and be below the water line. I could screw it into the foam in the back, but I don't think that's gonna work out very well for longevity. So I think we might roll with this, which is some Velcro strips from their command strips. They usually hold on really well. I don't know how they're gonna hold up with water and everything, so this will be kind of like a test. My plan is I'm gonna keep this in the boat, but if I'm gonna be using the bilge, I'm just gonna lay the hose over the outside from the cockpit. So I'm not drilling unnecessary holes into this boat. Thinking I'm gonna mount this with the Velcro. I guess you guys might be able to see it. Somewhere back here, maybe would work. Or I guess somewhere, I don't know. Maybe I don't wanna use the bilge, but I think I do. I just want to have a place where I could like grab it, set it in the water, turn it on, and then stick it up out of the way. So maybe that's going to be more of the route that we go, to where I have it if I need it, but it's not taking up floor space. So maybe, here's an idea. Maybe I Velcro, stick it up in here. If I need it, I'll just undo it, set it down, turn the switch on, put the hose out. I don't know, this might be an add-on later. Maybe I won't do this today. We've got other stuff we need to do that's probably a little bit more important than the bilge pump, but maybe you guys have some thoughts on what might work best. It's just weird because there's really not a lot of flat sides to this boat, and that makes it a little bit tricky. So yeah, I mean, we've got a pretty decent sized hose. I would just like toss it out and then have the bilge plugged into this sucker. So maybe I'd like wrap this up with like a twist tie or something. Twist tie it up and then stash it somewhere, perhaps back in here somewhere. I don't know, maybe, I think I'm gonna put this off, take your guys' input and put this to work in this boat. Here's the key components for the wiring. We've got the plugs for the battery box, which I still need to figure out where I'm gonna be keeping it. It'll probably be on the left side so it's out of the way of the guns. And I wanna keep it kind of close by so then I can reach over and use it when I need to. So maybe somewhere around here would work really well. It's got some good weight to it, so it might just stay by itself, but I might think about a way to attach it to the boat itself so it doesn't wiggle and fall around and stuff. We've got our 14 gauge wire, and we've got these bad boys, which thank you Jordan from Duck Gun Chronicles for telling me about these. They're 3M backed sticky pads with little holes in them for zip ties. So we've got the wiring for the nav lights that we need to do. We've got wiring for the light bar, and we've got wiring for the interior lights. Here's something that I was thinking about. I want to be able to use this boat in open water as an open water layout boat to hunt divers. And one issue is this light bar here. I won't be able to take the light bar off completely if I can't get the little cords out of the hole. It doesn't look like that hole is big enough for one of these to slip through, but we can find out together. Oh, that might work. I might need to strip away some of this so then I have more individual wires. I'm using these spade connectors and slip them through one at a time. It should work. But one way to find out, let's get to working on it. Trying to be very careful not to cut the inside wires. I think we got it. Here we go. I'm so happy that this idea is working, because that was the one hang up for this project, was being able to use it as a open water layout boat in the future. So if I'm able to get these through this tiny little hole, should work perfectly. Money. Dude, I'm so happy about that. That was an easy fix. I was thinking about that all day long, trying to figure out how to do that. You can see where I accidentally drilled through some of that foam, but it'll be all right. So we're gonna strip off some of this here. Bingo. So we got those. Now up here we have the lights for the interior. These are some tiny little wires, so I might strip them, fold them back, and then crimp. Give that one a little tug, that one a little tug, that one's good. Here's the wiring for the light bar, that one's good. And the nav lights are good. All right, I'm gonna heat those up. I kind of feel like this boat project is the definition of the old saying, there's multiple ways to skin a cat. We'll get started with the wire here. I'm gonna run 3 separate wires since everything's all fused back in the battery box. Don't have to worry about fuses or anything. So all I have to do is get a run of wire. I got quite a bit, so I could probably get away with using a little bit extra. Probably wouldn't hurt. Forgot that I was gonna be running the interior lights with the nav lights. I've got it all kind of figured out here. So I'm having to run a splice between the two. So this end right here will connect to the main 14 gauge wire that goes to the battery. and each of these ends will go off to the light strip and the nav lights. So I've got a positive and a negative for both of those. Okay, so if everything is done correctly, I'll turn the battery on, connect these two, and the interior lights and the nav lights should turn on. Boom, just like that. I want to show you guys every aspect and every step of the way on this boat. Maybe you guys are going to do a boat like this yourself and you want to kind of have some ideas on how to do things. I'm just kind of going off some ideas that I wrote down and some prior somewhat okay knowledge on how to do electrical stuff and such, and trying to make the boat of my dreams come true. And that's what we're doing here. So just trying to make sure everything's all watertight, sealed up, wired correctly. I'm using these spade connectors because they're really easy and I got a bunch of them. There's a lot of different ways to connect wires, but I think this will be really handy, especially on the light bar if I'm going to take it off to either replace it or take it off to do like an open water layout hunt. Just being able to pull these apart, pull the light bar off, I think it's going to be pretty handy. So that's my reasoning as to why I went with those instead of something else. Negative, positive, boom, we got a light bar, nice. So my thought process here is, you know, I'll be laying out like this in the boat, and I want to be able to get to this battery box if I need to, you know, use this charger or anything of that nature. I could potentially keep it up front, but I mean, we've got so much flexibility with the connectors I use, so we're gonna try it back here, see how we like it, and in the future, if we need to move it, we definitely can. This actually looks really good. So we've got all the wires tacked up here. They're really up and out of the way. On the camera, it looks way worse than it is. But, so we used all those sticky pads on there, brought it around, and I hugged the crack coming back this way. Now here comes the fun part. I've got the connectors ready to go. So we're gonna go ahead and slap these on there. All right, so we're gonna turn, all the switches are off. We're gonna turn our master power on, and then this would turn on nothing. That turned on the nav lights, and boom, we've got everything working. Wow. So this middle switch right here doesn't have anything plugged into it, so that would be the bilge or wherever I decide to plug these in. So I might play with them every single time, or I could actually probably label these. That might be a good idea. But no, like if I want to just have running lights, I've got the nav lights going and I've got the interior lights. So just low key, chilling, waiting for shooting light kind of stuff, wanting to see what I'm doing. We got that. We got the headlight right there so we can see where we're going in the night. Man, this thing is slick. It's really coming together. I love these switches. I love having that. And I love having a voltmeter. I'll wait till it gets dark out to show you guys everything that we've got going on here. But overall, I think it looks really good. And I'm really looking forward to hunting on this year. This thing is really coming together. I do have a question for you guys. If any of you guys are familiar with Gator Glide, please let me know about it. I know I've seen it in the comments saying that I should put it on the boat. I want to know kind of how slick it is, any issues I could have with it if I wanted to load this in the bed of the truck, that kind of thing. So let me know down in the comments. Don't know if it's necessarily worth it, but I think having this thing loaded down all the way and portaging across dry ground and dragging it, that Gator Glide could possibly help things out. So I just need some more info on it. So if you guys could help me out with that, that would be awesome. Here we are, grand reveal. We've got the nav lights and the interior lights, and we've got the big old 12-inch light bar that just lights up the whole freaking world. It looks so good. I dig it. I dig it, I dig it. So there we go. If we can see the nav lights from the sides, which is awesome. The interior lights look really good. And of course, the light bar looks really good too. So that is the final product of the wiring, nav lights, and kind of everything kind of coming together. Still a couple of things to finish up, but I think this gives you guys a general idea of what we got going on. So if you guys like this video, leave me a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, and I will catch you guys on the next one.